more on the AI front, dun dun dun, Gary Gensler is getting involved, saying, quote, the most transformative technology that this is the most transformative technology of this generation. There is a there. We can get to crypto later. We're taking so much of what we humans do on a daily basis and automating it. Gensler brought up several significant risks in the ongoing AI boom to financial markets, such as mass automation, which can have cascading ramifications for trillions of dollars in assets that trade on markets monitored by the SEC.
That's a really weird thing to bring up, as if that isn't already happening. Like, what's really odd about this, one of the things that no-coiners don't understand is that, yes, the internet is the easy, like, the computers in general and the internet itself is the best copy machine to ever exist, right? You can copy anything infinitely. There's no cost of replication, right? And the big thing that crypto changes is it adds a cost of replication. To create a new account, you don't just do something automated with an API that can be scripted and repeated. You have to put up some cost. It's the anti-spam measure that means you can't replicate it in an infinite number of times. And there's no mechanism having to do with that when it comes to trading platforms and stuff like that. Like, in a lot of different ways, this stuff is easy to replicate. And in ways, if it's not, AI isn't going to change that. It's really depressing to learn that the people in charge of certain things have such a bad understanding of them. Especially because you've seen him talk in his MIT talks in the past. He seemed to really get this stuff.
Really freaking terrifying to think about how much this one person is slowing down. The future of Web3 hangs in the balance over whether or not crypto and AI are able to be built here by American builders and used by Americans. And if Gensler continues to put his thumb on the scales and negatively impact the environment in which we are trying to innovate, we're going to see the industry go somewhere else or go to a lot of other places, because this industry is unique in that there isn't a lot of heavy machinery or large equipment, manufacturing equipment. Have laptop will travel, right? Anyway. We hope that AI continues to proceed. AI will most certainly save the world if we let it and use its powers for good. And we hope that Gensler does not harm it too much along the way.
No kidding. My goodness. Like, I don't know. Like, we just did another podcast interview this week with someone who built their business in France. And you asked the question of, like, how does it compare? And a lot of the things that would have gotten in the way of underlying functionality that made it a really great platform, you just couldn't do here. And he was just like, you can totally do that. It's totally fine. And it makes the platform better. It enables the users more. It
helps them to have legitimate, honest revenue streams.
And yet, because there's some law that can be interpreted to cover this, the assumption is if you're trying to push up against it, you're a nefarious criminal, rather than questioning, well, does the benefit of that law actually being applied in this circumstance actually benefit anyone, the end user that it was meant to try to protect or anything else? And it turns out in most of these cases, no. They're still missing all the big scams, and they're undermining we could be so much further along if one, we had clarity, and two, that clarity included, no, these ridiculously old laws that are only going to get in the way of the effective, efficient functioning of these systems don't apply.
Right.
Because how could they?
Absolutely.
They're 100 years old.
Yeah.